women just die in the back alleys now? Hey, Pro-Life Jen, it's Kristan Hawkins. Welcome to this How to Win the Debate episode on the Explicitly Pro-Life podcast. I am sure you have been asked this question. I know I certainly have. I think we need to back this up when we hear this argument. Roe versus Wade would have never come to fruition if it weren't for the massive lie in the 1960s that tens of thousands of women in America were dying from illegal back alley abortions. Have you ever heard that statistic? Yep. Have you ever heard Kristan Hawkins rebut that statistic? If you've ever listened to a podcast, you better have, because we know from Bernard Nathanson, co-founder of NARAL Pro-Choice America, who was an abortionist committing abortions in New York State before Roe versus Wade, that was a lie. We know from Planned Parenthood's own award-winning statistician, Christopher Tietz, who got their highest honor, the Maggie Award, named after that eugenicist founder of Planned Parenthood in 1974, that 500 women that they thought were actually dying from illegal abortions before Roe versus Wade was handed down. We also have the writings of Planned Parenthood's own medical director, Mary Calderone, in the 1950s, who admitted that 90% of abortions at that time in the late 50s were being committed by physicians in good standing in their community. So it was a myth. The purveyors of illegal abortion admitted that the tens of thousands of women dying of illegal back alley abortions was a myth after they saw Roe versus Wade handed down. But yet the damage was done. We had Roe versus Wade. We had 7 men who invalidated all the state laws that protected women and children from the predatory abortion industry. And sadly, that myth, we still hear it on college campuses and all on social media today in 2022. So now that Roe versus Wade's reversed, we're hearing this again, that we needed Roe to prevent these illegal back alley abortions and prevent women from dying from illegal back alley abortions. No matter what, ending innocent human life should always be illegal. That's kind of our whole goal in the pro-life movement. That's the premise of what we do. This formula, we have to keep something legal or else people will do it anyway, and they could do it in a way that's more dangerous. Therefore, we should keep it legal. That doesn't work and isn't applied in many, and I can't think of any other circumstance in our country. Think about other crimes. If we were talking about bank robbery, instead of abortion, advocates for bank robbery would be able to say, we have to keep armed bank robbery legal or else the robber could be hurt. Bank robbery is a very dangerous profession. And if you're an armed bank robber, you have a good chance that you're going to be shot and killed. If you heard anybody say what I just said, they would be ridiculed. People say, absolutely not. We should not make armed bank robbery legal just because those who commit it may be killed. We would say, let's address the systemic problems in our society that might lead somebody to think that taking a gun into a bank to steal money is actually going to be a worthwhile exercise. We should put in place, better security in our banks to ensure anybody who gets that idea is quickly deterred. A crime that hurts other people cannot be legalized in a society. That just can't happen that way. You can't beat them, let's join them mentality. Plus, let's not forget to mention, legalizing abortion didn't take care of the problem of women dying from abortion. The sign on the back door just literally moved to the front door. That's all that happened. That there was no national abortion training program on January 23rd, 1973. All the abortionists who are offering abortions to commit abortions on January 23rd, 1973, guess what? They were committing them on January 21st, 1973 as well. They were just able to advertise their services to women. Let's look at some studies. A recent study fully debunks the myth that legal abortions keep women safer. Dr. Caleb Miller, a British physician ethicist, recently published his findings this spring that prove the opposite. In his study, he found that legalizing abortion didn't even reduce the numbers of women having illegal abortions. The number of illegal abortions actually increased while the number of legal abortions skyrocketed. The severity of the complications women had increased dramatically when abortion was actually legalized. The proportion of women admitted to intensive care tripled. And in the following years, there was a further 50% increase in severe complications, and the portion of women with organ failure quadrupled. Wow. Didn't change anything. Only made it worse. Only made it worse. Before the tragedy of Roe in 1973, we should have built a society where women never felt like they had no other choice than to kill the life of their child, either through legal or illegal means. A society that supports parents in every way, one that has and believes in the intrinsic, inherent reverence of every child, that believes in the dignity of every human being and the importance of parenthood. We have a lot of work to do to put our nation back together for what the Supreme Court broke in 1973. But arguing that pro-lifers want women to die from back alley abortions is just false. That has never been our goal in the pro-life movement. In fact, I think you could argue that it is the abortion advocates, those who are now taking abortionists and putting them in vans to travel states or to travel in counties bordering abortion-free states. Yet those are the ones that are actually advocating for the new back alley, or the print magazines or online pro-abortion newspapers that are actually publishing do-it-yourself cocktails or how to order chemical abortion drugs from Mexico or from abroad, even though you're not screening yourself to see if you're Rh negative or if you're experiencing a life-threatening ectopic pregnancy. That's the new back alley of abortion in America. And it's certainly not being promoted by the pro-life movement. It's being promoted by the pro-abortion movement, because at the end of the day, their objective is very clear: end inconvenient human life at any cost.